the value of the view ultimately is what got them to the conversion. So if we only look at last click, we're missing a piece of the puzzle. Pinterest has been able to transform itself from what maybe once was purely an awareness play into a full funnel product suite, which allows us to continue and ensure that we not only can we reach our consumers, but we can drive them to action through inspiration.
Can you share how you're measuring full funnel value on Pinterest today?
There's multiple different ways of going about it. We can either enter in with a brand lift study, which is very surface level, capture that attention and are the users, retaining what they're seeing. We can also do store visits, foot traffic, sales conversion lift. There's multiple products and multiple different ways to drive that measurement. Measurement ultimately proves Pinterest's place in the plan.
What do you think is the biggest gap between audience behaviors and what is actually being measured right now?
When we look at measurement and we only look at one piece of the overall puzzle, but that person was inspired somewhere or was moving around, or we don't know where they are in their purchase journey, the measurement captures what we see in that moment, but it sometimes doesn't fully illuminate what that entire journey was. If you're looking for, purchasing a car, you're going to be looking for different ways and different moments. You're not just going to buy a car right then and there. You need to be inspired. That inspiration happened on Pinterest, and there's value from having that inspiration from that view through versus just considering that last click as the only reason why this person purchased or, completed their journey. There's people that come to the platform that are looking to be inspired, but there's people that are also collecting and creating their own boards, and they're visualizing things. If we think about just about serving ads where they click and they leave the platform versus giving them an experience where they're able to curate their vision, come back to it, then brands get to experience that moment multiple times, which has almost that intrinsic additional value that can't be measured in last click. As an agency, it's our job to work with these brands and work with brands that are focused on that value or that conversion and help them understand that there's much more that goes into getting to that conversion than just simply, buying the channel that sees the highest last click. Being part of the view and part of the journey is what gets us there. And without both pieces of the puzzle, we don't get the conversions, and ultimately the performance-based clients don't get the results they're looking for.
What does the next generation of measurement look like to you?
The next generation of measurement would ultimately be something that allows us to be less siloed and more holistic. It allows us to really understand the value of each part of the journey. For visual search, it's more of a consideration tactic. It's more of a mid-funnel play. A lot of brands are very used to doing brand lift studies that are impression focused. So sometimes the value of visual search is lost in those studies because it's focusing on two different things. However, visual search is what got our consumer down the purchase journey, got them inspired, and got them to ultimately that point of purchase. And we just need to work together to kind of understand with our clients that just because something isn't an impression driver doesn't mean that it doesn't have an impression on the campaign.